Get the tab and watch ad-free.
Hey gang, welcome back and welcome to the next video in our pick blocking series. This is pick blocking 109, the chunk. A couple days ago we tackled the pick and roll. This is going to be another one of those pick blocking moves that we need to keep in our toolbox. Just to quickly review, right? So the pick and roll focused on crossing our thumb up, and that forces our index and middle fingers to move up with it. So we're never really stuck in one string group. This one's going to be a little bit different, but it accomplishes the same task and it's just as important. This one looks kind of more deceiving than the pick and roll. The pick and roll is pretty obvious, right? That my fingers are moving up constantly, right? This one's going to look a little different. So just to kind of review for the beginners again, with pick blocking, we always want to pick and block at the same time when possible. So I don't pick, block, pick, block. I pick, and then I pick and block at the same time. Right? There's always two things happening. And when possible, I want to prepare myself for the next string I'm going to be picking. Right? So with the pick and roll, right, I crossed up to give my middle finger space to those higher strings, right? Whereas if I was down here, right, I would have to like double pick M, and that takes a lot of time. So now with the chunk, and again, please don't tell anybody, oh, I learned the chunk today. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. This is what I called it for myself. We are now going to be moving each finger at the same time to block new strings. So let's dive in. Again, we're starting off in this 10-9-8. And kick your shoes off, set your bar down. We don't need it. This is all right hand today. It's going to start off the same. Thumb goes, index goes, and right, so that means thumb blocks at the same time. Now this time, instead of crossing thumb up, we are going to pick middle, right? So that means index comes down and blocks at the same time. And you might be saying, Johnny, isn't that exactly what you told us not to do? Kind of. The difference here is that our pivot point is this 8th string, right? Because what we're going to do here, we're not going to bring middle down to block there. We're going to move everything up one string. So let's just try that. Thumb, index and thumb, middle and index, everything up. So now I'm on 9-8-7. Right, so that's why I call it the chunk. We're moving the strings in a chunk, three string chunk, right? And that's how it's going to be all the way up. The difference, right, between the bad way would be thumb, index and thumb, middle and thumb, right? Block with middle, and then move. Very bad, very bad. Right? No. If you find that's what you're doing, your problem is right here, right? Leave that 8th string ringing as long as you need. Right? I'm gonna take my hand all the way away. But when I set my hand down, it needs to be on 9-8-7. As much time as you need. This is what's important. Boom. Right there. Okay, but we're adding a little bit more to it. Because what have I always said? We always want to pick and block at the same time. So the next string that needs to be picked is string 9, right? The pattern starts over. When I move these fingers up to their new chunk, boom. Right, we block and pick at the same time. So now thumb's going. All right, so we pretty much went from everything's in the air. Remember the pick and roll, we only had 2 because we were always crossing up. This time we have all 3. And then boom, we set them down and thumb goes and the pattern starts back over. Right? So now we're going 9-8-7. So thumb just went. Index goes, thumb blocks. What's the next one? Middle picks, index blocks. And now we're at that same point. We're going to chunk the new strings, new chunk. Everything moves up. Take as much time as you need. But as soon as you set those down, we want them perfect and thumb goes. New chunk, thumb goes, pattern starts over. And as you start getting more comfortable, then you can start reducing the time between each chunk. Okay, so we got the ascending. Let's talk about the descending. Again, it'll be just kind of opposite. So we're starting off on 1, 2, 3. Same idea. So pattern starts with middle. All right. Index goes, middle blocks. Index goes, thumb goes, index blocks. So we're at this point where a third string is ringing, thumb is in the air. All right. Now we need to get to the new chunk. Everything moves. All right, take all the time you need. All right, but we want to get that block perfect, right? Okay, and like we said, we always pick and block at the same time, so now it's time for middle to go again, start the pattern over. All right, time for a new chunk. Everything moves, set and pick. Okay, so some common mistakes with this, really just going too fast and you'll start to hear it. The notes will start to run together. Right? If you're ever hearing two strings, you're not doing it right. Right? And that's why just taking this slow. The important thing is building up the right hand muscle memory. The speed will come later. One string at a time. And then this pivot point right here with the new chunk. Boom. If you need to, if it's too hard to pick and go for now, go ahead and block it, right? And then eventually you can add in the pick and block. Okay, let's go ahead and set it with the metronome just to be safe. All right, 3/4, 100 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, go, 2, 3. All right, descending. 1, 2, 3, go, 2, 3. All right. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference between these two. They're both very important. All right, pick and roll. Or the chunk. Right? There's the chunk. This time I actually crossed two strings. But same basic idea as a practical application. All right, there's a common one. All right, I got my pedals down. I'm doing the descending chunk. And I'm rocking off, moving to the new chunk. And why would I do that? Why would I do it like that? You might be saying. Because now I can go, right? I'm in this new chunk to where I can start doing some dyad stuff, right? Whereas if I pick and rolled it, that's what it would look like. So they both accomplish the same thing. They're both important movements. Sometimes one is going to feel better than the other, but like I said, both very important. There's a good chunk. All right. Chunked here. Now I got a big chunk there. That's something that I couldn't pick and roll, right? Because I'm having to chunk more than one string group, right? And then pick and roll it back up, right? Chunk it down. All right. Please let me know what you think about these. I do still work on them. This isn't something just for beginners or intermediates. I warm up with this stuff all the time. But hope this helped out, and we'll get to some more tunes next week. Bye.